to head to the those cliffs further away. You can just barely see them over there. I don't think I've ever walked the bottom of these. I think I've walked the top. So maybe I'll go look over there. Maybe I'll get lucky and find something. I'm thinking this little shelf here must be an old road that someone built long ago. Maybe, I don't know, maybe at the time people were migrating along the river. You can see the river's down, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet below the river bed. Well, this shows that this is, at least this right here, is more recent than the 49ers. It's a concrete structure. Must have been a little gate. Maybe they're holding water in behind it. This is a really hot, dry part of Arizona, but look at all this, all these big trees right here. Obviously, the river brings in some moisture, but the main part of the river's down there. Must be 10-15 feet lower, so maybe there's a spring around here, but very unusual to see. Boy, that's got to be at least 50-60 foot tall tree over there. I don't know what kind these are. They're evergreen looking. This is the 4-family grave site. How many people signed in? It's an interesting spot. Not many people. Oh, that was loud. You see the little graveyard here. Born 1869. Something that can be read, I guess, at your leisure. 6 children. Interesting spot out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm coming up on a semi-well-known site called the Oatman Memorial Grave Site. It's funny, I just was watching on, I don't know what it was, Prime or Netflix last night, a new series called American Primeval, which is very interesting. It's about the mid-1800s, the Indians, the Mormons, the American government, and other settlers all sort of fighting for primacy. And it was around that time that the Oatmans, who were homesteading here, were attacked by local Indians. Most of them killed. At least one of the daughters was taken as a hostage, She was taken and essentially raised with the Indians. There are famous pictures of her with her Indian tattoo because she returned to normal life at some time in the future. I don't know how long she was held. Quite a few years. But this is the memorial gravesite. Got stakes around it so people won't run it over, even though vehicles aren't supposed to be in here. But you know how it is. Somebody takes the fence out. The next guy follows him. Well, that looks like some pottery. I know there's pottery on this flat. Let's see. Yeah, this is typical of the pottery here too. Just a sort of brownish, tannish stuff. This whole area has a lot of petroglyphs, but it doesn't have much in the way of habitation signs. chill. I think this was the first place I ever really found pottery on this sort of, what I would call a mud flat. It's a little bit above the river. Petroglyphs tend to be over there on the banks, either at the top or the bottom. But the amount of pottery here suggests that maybe they like to live in places like this. I don't think they didn't leave any structures that you can find, so I don't think they built out of stone. This type of pottery is different from the I find in most places around here. I think this area was inhabited by the people called the Patayans, is my understanding, and they're neighbors to the Hohokam, but they're a little different. And this is not Hohokam pottery. Maybe that's one of the things they use to distinguish them. You find this kind of pottery maybe, and of course in this area, it's further west from the Hohokam. Well, this white stuff, I noticed last time I was here, there was a lot of shell, and I think that's what we got here. You see, yeah, oh, look at that. This is one of the best ones I found. Let's take a look at it. This is a glycimerous shell, but these come from the Gulf of California. I don't know, more than 100 miles away, 150 or so. But they made jewelry out of them, and you can see this is almost a whole bracelet by itself. It's nice and pretty by itself, but I think they incised them and put designs on them as well. But these shells were brought up and jewelry was made from them. That's a good example of one. What? Looks like more shell. Yeah, part of clamshell. I think the glycimerous is also known as, I looked it up once, I think it's sweetwater clam. This is a type of clam. Looks like another rim piece here. Yep, that's another, this little bump on the end is characteristic of the perimeter where they would have been a focal point for the bracelet. A little cluster of pieces. I don't know, people might have, modern people might have put them like that. I don't know. Well, this one nearby looks like it might be a rim piece. It's also reddish. That's a rim, but it's a, I think, but it's a very rough rim. It's not broken at the top. That was the edge they built on it. Another fairly large reddish piece. Look at that. That's a bit funny to find. Although I guess it could just be a plain old river rock. There aren't many that look like this right here. Could have been brought over from a place where the water flows and smoothed it out. Could have been used as a tool of some sort. There's a bit of shell. Last time I was here, came out with a friend of mine, and I think right about this spot, we encountered one of the friendly dogs from the ranch who wanted a pet. I think there's petroglyphs over there. Well, these little crossings are a pain in the butt. That's, I don't know, 25 feet down a steep dirt bank and then up the other side. I don't know. I may have to go up on the rocks over there to get around. Well, I made it through, And I see a couple glyphs over on this side. A star and a, looks like a humanoid. We'll get a little closer. Nothing too impressive, but you know, ancient rock art. At least 800 years old, I think. A couple of ravens flying around, and I see a hand over there. Well, I worked my way up to the top of the, sort of the top of the hill just below the cliff band. And there are a few petroglyphs up here. I can see some over there. And I could see some over here. I think there's just some right up this side of the wall. These are a little bit faint. This one over there, get a better look. Looks like a lizard man. A couple long lines across there. Don't know what that means. And there's another hand. Several hands around here. And just around the corner, these show up a little better in the shade on the darker rock. Let's see what we got here. It's a human and a, not sure what's below it. Looks like a spaceman, or it could be just someone with a headdress. Some more around the next corner. There's a outline cross. Some say that refers to Venus. There's a bunch of outline crosses if you look down below. I'll see if I can get a little better view of those. And look around this corner. There's a bird. That's certainly a bird. Maybe a water bird since we're next to the river. Oh, there goes a buzzard. Ungulate. It's a thunderbird. Oh, there's one up high there that I didn't see when I went by. I recognize that one from before. I may have to get a better view, but look right next to me here. Another outline cross. And up one below. Some smaller things. This is not on the cliff band. This is a rock just next to it. But you can see there's some more stuff along the cliff band. Well, that's a big panel down there. We'll be going to see that one. And here's a better view of this one. That's quite an impressive grazer or browser. It's a, and here's this bigger panel, which is obviously the best one we've seen so far. Before I studied that one, I just noticed these somewhat lesser panel right next to it. There's another hand, 5 fingers, a long-tailed maybe coyote, and some other smaller things. That could be a hand there too. Another hand up there. Let's look at this side of this panel. That's down below. A dog or a coyote. Looks like a snake. Lizard man. Lizard men. Several of them. I know what this long line is. It's intentional. And we've got some connected circles. That's not too uncommon. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, though. And a snake next to it. Looks like it's got a forked tail. We'll move over and look at the other ones. Down here, there's another hand. Some more deer. Some things a little hard to make out for me. That's a very nice lizard man with, again, it looks like a forked tail. And that's some more animals over here. Pretty nice big panel here, given what we're seeing locally. More faint ones. continue along. Sort of take a picture as I go along. It's quite rocky, and I have to try to not fall over, so maybe a little jumpy. Oh, look at that. There's a big one. I may have to back up and get a picture of that one. That one's worth looking at. We've got it looks like a mesquite growing, hanging over it a little bit. Let me back. That's a big one. Some other big ones down below. Oh, look at this one over here too. Couple of hands up there. Putting the sun to my back a little bit. Hoping for a little better pictures here. Well, that's sort of an interesting one. Well, I'm going to head down to the bottom to look for more stuff, although this is treacherous stuff to descend, but if you go slow, you can do it. Well, coming down, came around the right side of this boulder and looked up, and there's a big sun. It's much brighter. This has to be newer than the ones we were seeing up higher. There's another funny mark there, but above it there's a signature. I'd be 90% sure that's a modern inscription, modern being after 1850. There are inscriptions along here that are that a lot of them have dates, and they range from the 49ers, some up to the early 1900s. You can see the riverbed below, and then this nice flat rock in the foreground, and it's got some glyphs on it. I think I remember thinking that was a nice spot with place to sit with some petroglyphs. So here we are on this rock. You see a couple of these dimples are cupules, just banging a heavy rock into a bigger rock. These are sort of a special class of petroglyph and are always fun to find. And you can see some more normal petroglyphs over here. A couple of outlined crosses. I can step down here because there's no glyphs down here. That one's sort of in the shade. Maybe see that one. Both directions. Oh look, I just looked and noticed those over there. That's pretty nicely done too. Obviously brighter, probably made later. Some more down below in the shadow. Well, that looks like it might be a good panel up there. Gonna have to have a look. Well, that's the panel. Obviously there's some good stuff at the bottom. A guy with claws, lizard man, a couple animals, some concentric circles up above. But look on this very edge, there's a squiggly snake, and there seems to be another panel on the other side. So we'll take some more pictures. And this one on the other side is very bright, probably the best one so far today. A couple of big hands up at the top, 5 fingers. Some squiggles. There's an animal in the middle, another hand above that. That looks like more like a lizard than a lizard man, I would say. There's an animal with a tail. Could be a coyote. There's a little stair-step pattern. A little bit further back, showing the whole panel. There's this one with the circles. It's opposite the other one. I can see that pretty well without sun. There's a fat cross up there. Here's the other one. Let me see if I can get a bit. There you go. That's got a nice animal. Got real nice circles. Not quite sure. That guy looks like a butterfly man. Other animals and things above. It's sort of a nice panel. A little hard to get a picture of it today. We're coming up on a geoglyph or earth figure. There's a lot of those on this plain, this volcanic plain. This one shows up pretty clearly in satellite. You can see the perimeter there. There's a straight line in the middle. You see, it's along the light as to how well you see it. But it's clear this is not an accidental arrangement of rocks. Somebody did this. They're thought to be ancient. Purpose is unknown. There's the long line going through the middle. You can see an edge over there. You can see an edge over here, and there's a little sort of circle on the attached to the side. Coming back down the cliff band to the river. Before I walk back to the car, I know there are a couple good glyphs here, and that one right there is one of them. We'll get closer to it. There's man down there. I don't know, there's a little squiggly thing, almost looks like a map. Fat cross, another fat cross. There's an animal and some squiggles, possibly looks more like running water than a snake. Here's some bighorns. There's some hands up there, some concentric circles. Really pretty good stuff here. A few more around the side too. It's a nice panel. Heading back now, it's a different sort of mud flat, but this one also has some pottery. There's something hatched here. Eggshell over there. Eggshell here. Eggshell there. Anything over here? I don't know, those are bigger than duck eggs. There's more. These things found about 4 or 5 places. Hatched eggs. Big one. I don't know. There's not enough water around here for water birds. Anybody have a guess? They can work in the dry desert? Let me know.